The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
My brother Rabbi Yaakov just told me the other day. He said, let me tell you a story that captures the humility that one wants to feel in front of Hashem during these days. I'm going to share with you, it's unbelievable. This is a true story he just read. A fellow writes this story about himself. He was in Eretz Yisrael. This is going back, I guess, a few decades. He was in Eretz Yisrael and he decided he wanted to go to Meron. I can't remember if it was Lag BaOmer or not. I think it was. He decided he was going to go to Meron, where Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is buried, to his caver. And so he goes to the bus stop to wait for the bus. And who does he see is there waiting for the bus as well? The Tolna Rebbe. That's the previous Tolna Rebbe. Great tzaddik, a great Jew. And he's standing there waiting for the bus. And this fellow showed up and the Tolna Rebbe was very happy to have another Torah-dick Jew that he could talk with, sit next to on the bus, and travel to Meron with. And they schmoozed and they sat next to each other on the bus and they went up to Meron. When they got to Meron, they both went to go daven Shachris, and this fellow went and he davened, and when he finished davening, it was time already that he wanted to return back and catch a bus back home. And he looks for the Tolna Rebbe, his traveling partner, and he sees the Tolna Rebbe is just getting ready to begin davening. He hasn't even davened yet. So the guy's thinking to himself, oh, we came all this way together. Tolna Rebbe really wants to be with me. Okay, but I really have to go. And he's only just starting. So he goes over to the Tolna Rebbe and he goes, I'm so sorry. I just, thinking of catching a bus back home. Tolna Rebbe says, nah, of course. Don't wait for me. Go back home, please. Don't worry about it at all. Not a problem. This guy goes, oh, okay, fine. Feels a little bit bad. Goes down the mountain to wait for a bus. Waits there for an hour and change. No bus shows up. Suddenly he looks up the mountain. Who is walking down the mountain? The Tolna Rebbe. He had finished davening by now. So the guy feels a little bit bad. He sort of split on the Tolna Rebbe, and now the Tolna Rebbe is coming, stand right next to him. He stands next to him. He tells Tolna Rebbe, he said, Tolna Rebbe says to him, what are you doing here? He says, no bus came yet. Okay, they stand there. A minute after they're standing there, a car pulls up. Car stops and says, Tolna Rebbe, what are you doing waiting for a bus? No, come, I'll give you a ride. I'll take you back home. And Tolna Rebbe turns to the driver and says, how many spots do you have in your car? The guy says, just one. Tolna Rebbe says, nope, I'm so sorry. I cannot leave this fellow. He's my travel partner. I came here with him. I'm leaving with him. I'm not taking the ride. Absolutely not. He said, the guy said, no, Rebbe, I'm taking you. He said, no, one spot. I'm not coming. I'm not leaving this guy. So finally the guy pushed things over and they managed to squish both of them into the car. The fellow said on the way back, sitting next to the Tolna Rebbe, who fought to not leave his side, the guy wanted the floor to swallow him. Here he had so quickly walked away and left the Tolna Rebbe high and dry. But when it came the other way, the Tolna Rebbe, for nothing, he would not leave this guy. Not to take a ride, nothing, if there's either room for both of us or none of us. My brother said, that's the humility standing in front of Hashem. Hashem, you never let me go. No matter, every time I had a chance to leave you high and dry, Hashem, I did. Every time I could walk away, I did. But you never let me go. And you kept saying, there's either room for both me and Nissan, or nothing to talk about. Because I'm never letting him go. And I'm never letting him walk away. And I'm never giving up on him. And we're standing there on Rosh Hashanah, and there's this moment of clarity that Hashem is the king of the universe, the light of everything, of all existence. And he turns to us, yea, my people, come. Be part of this coronation. Because I'm never, ever going to leave you. And at that moment, we just say, Gewalt. But 5 minutes ago, I just left you. And so the shofar sounds, my friend. And when the shofar sounds, that's a moment of tshuva. At that moment, we're meant to pivot the direction of our life. And think about this story when the shofar is blowing. Because when that shofar blows, it's the day of Rosh Hashanah, the day that everyone stands in judgment. And you can imagine what Hashem sees. All the times that we left him high and dry are right there for everyone to see. But Hashem says to us, blow that shofar. This is the secret. Blow the shofar, and when you blow the shofar, I'm going to rise up from my throne of judgment, and I'm going to go sit on my throne of mercy. There we are, standing in judgment, and everything we ever did wrong is right there, the whole rap sheet. And what does Hashem say? We're either both going or no deal. This is what you do. You blow this shofar, and I'm going to go sit on my throne of mercy, and we're going to get this taken care of, my kids. We're going to have a great year. Blow the shofar. Come on, let's do this. And at that moment that Hashem's getting up and you're blowing the shofar, and you realize that Hashem gave us that secret because he won't leave us for nothing. Despite the fact that he's everything and we're so small. He just won't let us go. Despite the fact that we've done everything wrong, he just won't let us go. And at that moment you say, Gewalt Hashem. I wish the ground would swallow me up. I promise you. If I ever get a chance again, I will never, ever, ever walk away from you. Because you love me more than anything. Because you never let me go for a second. Because you're the light of life itself. And what was I thinking? What was I thinking when I walked away? Never again. Never again. So it's such a busha, such embarrassment. Such smallness, and because of that smallness, we're able to be reborn. But reborn right. Reborn right by Hashem's side. When we witness and we recognize that unending, unstoppable love of Hashem, the King of Kings, bigger than big, to us who are smaller than small.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org